How often do you find yourself chasing something just out of reach, exhausting every ounce of your energy to grasp what you believe will finally bring you peace, happiness, or fulfillment? It might be a relationship, wealth, recognition, or even the sense of belonging you've craved for so long. Yet, no matter how fiercely you pursue it, the closer you seem to get, the further it drifts away, like a mirage in the desert. Have you ever paused to wonder why? The truth is, life has a divine rhythm, an order designed not by the hands of men but by the Creator Himself. And in this grand design, there is a paradox that governs our desires. The harder you try to see something, the more elusive it becomes. Why? Because the act of trying affirms a lack of belief that you do not have it. And in the mysterious dance of faith and reality, what you believe deeply is what you manifest. Consider this: when you plant a seed in the soil, do you stand over it day and night, anxiously demanding that it grow? Do you dig it up repeatedly to check if it's sprouting roots? Of course not. You trust the process, knowing that in its time, the seed will push through the earth and bear fruit. What if the things you desire work the same way? What if trying too hard is akin to digging up the seed, disrupting its natural course? Faith teaches us to rest in the assurance that what is ours will find us not because we chased it, but because we aligned ourselves with it. This isn't passivity, it's the highest form of action. It's the action of belief, the action of surrender, the action of becoming the kind of person who attracts what they seek, not through force, but through divine alignment. What would happen if, instead of striving, you simply allowed yourself to feel the joy, peace, or abundance as if it were already yours? Where could it be that the thing you're chasing is waiting for you to stop running so it can meet you where you are? Could it be that the door you've been pounding on is already open and you only need to stop long enough to see it? Faith, in its purest form, is quiet confidence. It doesn't shout, it doesn't beg, it doesn't plead. Faith is the serene assurance that the Creator's timing is perfect, that what is meant for you cannot miss you, and that your role is not to fight for it but to prepare yourself to receive it. Are you ready to stop trying and start receiving? Think of the stories woven into the fabric of human history, stories of those who seemed to have it all without the struggle others endured. Were they simply lucky? Or did they understand this profound truth? The universe bends to those who rest in faith. What if you too could unlock that power, not by chasing but by trusting? Pause now and reflect on your own life. How many doors have you tried to force open only to find they led nowhere? How many times have you convinced yourself that you need something outside of you to feel whole? Could it be that the wholeness you seek is already within you, waiting for you to recognize it? The Bible tells us, "Be still and know that I am God." In those simple yet profound words lies the key to receiving all that you desire. The stillness of your spirit, the quieting of your doubts, and the release of your fears create the space where miracles unfold. Will you dare to stop striving and trust that the Creator's plan for you is more magnificent than anything you could imagine? This journey of faith is not about giving up, it's about letting go. Letting go of the need to control, to grasp, to manipulate outcomes. It's about stepping into the flow of divine order, where your desires are not just granted, they are multiplied. Are you ready to step into that flow? Are you ready to trade your striving for peace, your fear for trust, and your efforts for grace? Let us now explore the profound principles that will guide you on this journey of transformation, where you stop trying to get it and finally have it. Embody what you seek. To truly embody what you seek, you must first understand the essence of the thing you desire. It's not enough to wish for success, love, or abundance. You must become the type of person who naturally attracts these things. Imagine a magnet. It doesn't chase after the metal. It draws it in effortlessly because of its inherent nature. The same principle applies to you. To attract success, you must think, speak, and act like someone who already has it. To attract love, you must radiate love. To welcome abundance, you must cultivate a mindset of plenty. This alignment begins within. Ask yourself, who would I be if I already had what I desire? What habits would I nurture? What thoughts would dominate my mind? When you embody your desires, you bridge the gap between wanting and having. The way you carry yourself, the choices you make, and the energy you project all signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. This isn't about pretending or playing a role. It's about transforming yourself into the living, breathing reflection of your dreams. Your beliefs shape your reality. If you believe you are not enough or unworthy, you will unconsciously repel the very things you long for. But when you shift those beliefs, when you choose to see yourself as capable, deserving, and whole, you become a vessel ready to receive all the blessings meant for you. Begin today. Think the thoughts of a person who already has what you desire. Speak words of confidence and faith. Act as though you are living the life you envision. When you embody what you seek, you no longer chase after your dreams, they find you. Release the need to control. Control is an illusion, a fragile construct that we cling to, believing it will bring us security and certainty. But in reality, the harder we try to control every aspect of our lives, the more we push away the very things we desire. Letting go of the need to control does not mean giving up. It means surrendering to a higher order, a divine plan far greater than we can comprehend. The act of release is not one of weakness, but of profound trust in the Creator's wisdom and timing. Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you grip it, the more it slips through your fingers. But when you open your palm and trust the sand to rest there, it remains. The same principle applies to our desires. When we cling to outcomes, obsess over details, or anxiously try to force things into existence, we disrupt the natural flow of life. We create resistance, and what we resist persists. Letting go invites ease, harmony, and alignment. It allows life to unfold as it is meant to. This is not to say that you should sit idly by doing nothing to pursue your goals. Action is essential, but it must be inspired action guided by intuition and faith, not driven by fear or desperation. The difference lies in the energy behind the action. Are you acting out of trust, knowing that your efforts will bear fruit, or out of panic, trying to control every outcome because you fear it won't work out? The former aligns you with divine flow. The latter blocks your blessings. Releasing control also means letting go of the how. Too often, we get trapped in our minds trying to calculate every step, predict every twist and turn, and dictate how our desires should manifest. But the how is not our responsibility. Our role is to focus on the what, the vision, the desire, the goal, and to trust that the Creator will orchestrate the details in ways we could never imagine. Consider this. Has there ever been a time in your life when things worked out even better than you planned? When blessings came from unexpected places? That is the power of surrender at work. Trusting divine timing is another essential aspect of releasing control. We live in a world obsessed with immediacy, where patience is often viewed as a weakness. But the Creator's timing is always perfect. Just as a seed needs time to grow into a tree, your dreams require time to take root and flourish. Impatience disrupts the process, while trust allows it to unfold. When you release the need to control, you align yourself with this timing, creating the space for miracles to happen. Releasing control also means letting go of attachments. Attachment is the belief that your happiness, worth, or fulfillment depends on achieving a specific outcome. It's the voice that says, "I'll be happy when." But true peace comes not from attaching your identity to what you want, but from realizing that you are complete, whole, and enough as you are. When you release attachment, you free yourself from the burden of expectations and open your heart to receive blessings in whatever form they come. Ask yourself, what are you holding on to so tightly that it's causing you more harm than good? Is it a relationship, a job, a specific goal, or even an outdated belief about who you should be? What would happen if you released your grip, and trusted the divine plan. The act of letting go is not a loss, it is a liberation. It frees you to live fully in the present moment, to see opportunities you might have overlooked, and to receive blessings you didn't even know you needed. Faith is the antidote to control. It's the quiet assurance that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. It's the inner knowing that even when the path seems unclear or the wait feels endless, the Creator is working behind the scenes to bring your desires to fruition. To release control is to step into this faith, to trust that you are guided, protected, and provided for. Let go of the need to micromanage your life. Release the urge to dictate every detail. Surrender your fears and anxieties to the Creator and watch as the weight lifts from your shoulders. In this state of trust and surrender, you create a fertile ground for your dreams to manifest effortlessly. The moment you stop trying to control everything is the moment you make space for miracles to enter your life. Trust the process and let the divine order unfold in its perfect timing. Shift from wanting to believing. Wanting is a state of lack. It signals to the universe that you do not have what you desire. And as a result, you attract more of that lack into your life. Believing, on the other hand, is a powerful shift that aligns your thoughts and emotions with the reality you wish to create. It is the difference between saying, "I wish I could have this," and confidently declaring, "I already have this in spirit." This is not mere positive thinking. It is the essence of faith, the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things unseen. Belief is the foundation of creation. Think about it. Every invention, every great achievement, every miraculous breakthrough began as a belief in someone's mind. The Wright brothers believed humans could fly when the world called it impossible. Inventors, visionaries, and dreamers across history have demonstrated this universal truth. When you believe in something with unwavering certainty, you bring it closer to your reality. How do you shift from wanting to believing? It begins with your imagination. Your imagination is a divine gift, a tool for creating the life you desire. Close your eyes and picture yourself already living the reality you seek. Feel the emotions associated with it. Is it joy, peace, confidence, or freedom? Whatever it is, allow yourself to feel it deeply as though it is already happening. This practice is not wishful thinking. It is training your mind and spirit to align with what you desire. Belief requires a commitment to see beyond the physical evidence. Often we let our external circumstances dictate what we believe is possible. If there's no visible sign of progress, we doubt. If things appear to be falling apart, we lose hope. But faith operates in the unseen. It declares, "Even though I cannot see it yet, I know it is already mine." The Creator does not work according to our limited perception. His ways are higher, His timing perfect. Another critical aspect of belief is affirming it through your words. Your words hold power. They shape your reality. If you constantly speak in terms of lack, "I can't afford this, I'll never achieve that," or "it's just not meant for me," you reinforce that lack. But when you speak in alignment with your belief, "I am abundant, I am worthy, I am capable," you set in motion the forces that bring your desires to fruition. Guard your tongue and speak life into your dreams. Believing also means trusting in the process, even when things don't seem to be going your way. There may be setbacks, delays, or moments of uncertainty, but these are not signs that your belief is in vain. They are simply part of the journey. Trust that every challenge is a step toward your goal, preparing you to receive what you desire in its fullness. It's important to recognize that belief is not passive. It inspires action. When you truly believe in something, you naturally take steps that align with that belief. These actions are not forced. They flow effortlessly because they come from a place of conviction. For example, if you believe you are destined for success, you will find yourself making decisions and taking risks that align with that success. Belief fuels action, and action solidifies belief. Letting go of doubt is essential in this shift. Doubt is the enemy of belief. It whispers lies that keep you stuck in a state of wanting. Recognize doubt for what it is, a distraction, not a truth. When doubt creeps in, counter it with faith. Remind yourself of times in your life when things worked out, even when it seemed impossible. Use those moments as evidence that belief, not doubt, is the pathway to miracles. Finally, belief is about becoming. When you shift from wanting to believing, you embody the qualities of someone who already has what they desire. You exude confidence, peace, and gratitude. You no longer operate from a place of neediness or desperation, because you know that your desires are already being fulfilled. This state of being is magnetic. It draws your dreams to you effortlessly. The shift from wanting to believing transforms your life. It frees you from the cycle of lack and propels you into a state of abundance. It aligns you with the divine flow, where your desires are no longer something you chase but something you naturally attract. Step into that belief today. Speak it, feel it, live it. Know that what you seek is already yours in spirit, waiting to manifest in perfect timing. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is the language of the soul. It is the bridge between the life you have and the life you desire. While it might seem counterintuitive, the act of being thankful for what you already have, even when you feel far from where you want to be, creates a powerful shift in your reality. Gratitude is not merely an emotion, it is a state of being, a declaration that you are open to receiving more. When you practice gratitude, you align yourself with abundance. The Creator responds to a heart that is thankful, not because He needs our thanks, but because gratitude is the evidence of faith. It says, I trust that all is well, and I believe that greater things are on the way. In the same way that a parent delights in giving more to a child who appreciates their gifts, the Creator delights in blessing a grateful heart. Start each day with the spirit of gratitude. Before your feet even touch the ground, take a moment to reflect on the blessings in your life. They might seem small, a roof over your head, food on your table, breath in your lungs. But these are the building blocks of abundance. By focusing on what you have, you shift your energy from lack to fulfillment, from wanting to receiving. Gratitude also changes your perspective. When you look for things to be thankful for, you begin to notice the good in every situation. Even challenges become opportunities for growth, lessons to be learned, or stepping stones to something greater. A grateful heart sees beyond the present difficulties and trusts that they are part of a divine plan. Ask yourself, how often do you focus on what's missing rather than what's present? How would your life change if you shifted that focus? Expressing gratitude is a powerful practice. Speak it aloud, write it down, or share it with others. A gratitude journal is a simple yet transformative tool. Each day, write down 3 things you are thankful for. As you reflect on these blessings, you will notice your mindset shifting. The more you practice gratitude, the more reasons you will find to be grateful. Gratitude also has the power to heal relationships. When you express appreciation for the people in your life, you strengthen your bonds and create a deeper sense of connection. Too often we take others for granted, focusing on their flaws instead of their contributions. Make it a habit to thank those around you and watch as your relationships flourish. Even in the face of unmet desires, gratitude is key. Thank the Creator, not only for what you have, but also for what is coming. This is an act of faith, a way of acknowledging that your prayers are already being answered. When you practice gratitude for your future blessings, you align yourself with their manifestation. It's as if you are saying, I trust you, and I know that you are working on my behalf. Gratitude is not just about words, it's about actions. Live your life in a way that reflects your thankfulness. Use your time, talents, and resources to bless others. When you give from a place of gratitude, you create a ripple effect of abundance that touches everyone around you. And in giving, you often find that you receive even more. Above all, gratitude keeps you grounded in the present moment. It reminds you that while it's important to strive for your dreams, there is beauty in the here and now. The journey is as important as the destination, and a heart full of gratitude finds joy in every step. As you practice gratitude, you will notice a profound change in your life. The things you once longed for will begin to flow to you effortlessly. You will find contentment in the present and hope for the future. Gratitude is not just a habit, it is a way of life, a way to align yourself with the divine flow of abundance and grace. Let gratitude be your compass, guiding you toward the life you were created to live. And live in the end. Living in the end is a transformative approach that empowers you to act, think, and feel as though your desired reality has already come to pass. It shifts your mindset from longing to fulfillment, creating a magnetic alignment between your beliefs and your goals. This principle is not merely wishful thinking. It is an act of faith that transcends time and circumstance, allowing you to step into the life you desire before it physically manifests. To live in the end, start with your imagination. Your imagination is a powerful tool, a divine gift that allows you to create and experience your dreams in vivid detail. Visualize yourself already living your desired life. Picture the home, the career, the relationships, or the achievements you aspire to. Engage all your senses in this visualization. What do you see, hear, and feel? The more real and specific your imagination becomes, the stronger your alignment with that reality will be. Equally important is the emotional state you cultivate. When you imagine your fulfilled desires, focus on the emotions associated with them. Is it joy, peace, or gratitude? Allow those emotions to flood your being as if the reality you envision is already yours. The universe responds not to your wishes, but to your state of being. By embodying the emotions of your fulfilled dreams, you create a powerful energy that attracts them into your life. Living in the end also involves changing the way you speak and act. Speak about your goals and dreams as though they are already happening. Replace phrases like "I hope I can" or "I want to" with declarations like "I am" or "I have." For example, instead of saying "I want to be successful," declare "I am successful." Your words have creative power. They shape your reality and reinforce your belief in the fulfillment of your dreams. Consistency is key. Living in the end is not a one-time exercise, it is a daily practice. It requires you to hold your vision and maintain your emotional alignment, even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. Challenges and setbacks may arise, but they are not signs of failure. Instead, see them as part of the journey, as opportunities to strengthen your faith and commitment to your vision. One of the most profound aspects of living in the end is gratitude. Gratitude is a declaration of trust and faith in the divine order. Be thankful not only for the blessings you currently have, but also for those that are on their way. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, reinforcing the belief that your desires are already being fulfilled. Patience plays a vital role in this process. While it's natural to want immediate results, living in the end requires you to trust the Creator's timing. Understand that delays are not denials. There are often opportunities for growth, preparation, or alignment with something even greater than you imagined. Trust that the divine plan is unfolding perfectly and remain steadfast in your vision. Living in the end also requires you to let go of doubt and fear. These emotions create resistance, blocking the flow of your desires. When doubt arises, counter it with affirmations of faith. Remind yourself of the times in your life when things worked out unexpectedly well, and use those experiences as evidence that your dreams are within reach. Finally, living in the end means becoming the person who naturally aligns with your dreams. This is about embodying the habits, mindset, and qualities of the version of yourself who has already achieved your goals. It's about transformation from the inside out. stepping into the reality you desire not as a distant possibility, but as your present truth. When you live in the end, you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you wish to create. This alignment creates a powerful magnetic force that draws your dreams closer to you. Trust the process, hold your vision, and watch as your imagined reality becomes your lived experience. I have achieved much more than I ever thought possible, and I can continue to testify to the doctors and others that the same thing is true for them as well. The life of the imagined reality becomes your lived experience. Detach from the outcome. Detachment is one of the most liberating principles in the journey to manifesting your desires. It does not mean giving up on your goals or dreams. Rather, it is the act of releasing the emotional grip you have on the outcome. Detachment shifts your focus from trying to control every aspect of your journey to trusting the divine process and being open to the infinite possibilities through which your dreams may manifest. Attachment often stems from fear, the fear of failure, loss, or disappointment. This fear creates a sense of desperation, sending out a signal of lack to the universe. When you are overly attached to an outcome, you operate from a mindset of scarcity, which can block the very blessings you are seeking. Detachment, on the other hand, is a statement of faith. It says, I trust that what is meant for me will come, and I release the need to control how or when it happens. One of the first steps of detachment is recognizing your inherent worth and completeness. Your happiness and fulfillment should never depend solely on achieving a specific outcome. When you detach, you affirm that you are whole, deserving, and capable of joy, regardless of external circumstances. This mindset allows you to pursue your dreams with freedom rather than pressure. Detachment also requires letting go of the how. Often we become fixated on a specific path or method for achieving our desires. We try to micromanage the process, insisting that things unfold in the exact way we envision. However, the Creator's ways are far beyond our understanding. The path to your dreams may not look like what you expect, but it will always be what is best for you. Let go of the need to dictate the details and trust that the Creator will orchestrate the perfect plan. Another critical aspect of detachment is releasing timelines. While it's natural to want results quickly, imposing rigid deadlines can lead to frustration and doubt. Trust that the Creator's timing is perfect, and that delays are often blessings in disguise. Use the waiting period to prepare yourself, strengthen your faith, and grow into the person you need to be to receive your dreams. Gratitude is a powerful tool for detachment. When you focus on what you already have, you shift your energy from neediness to abundance. Gratitude creates a positive cycle, attracting more blessings into your life. Be thankful for the present moment and for the dreams that are on their way, even if you cannot yet see them. This attitude of gratitude reinforces your trust in the divine process. Detachment also involves surrender. Surrender is not about giving up, it is about releasing your grip on the outcome and allowing the Creator to work in ways beyond your comprehension. It means taking inspired action, guided by faith, and then stepping back to let the divine plan unfold. Surrender is a declaration of trust, a recognition that you do not need to force things into existence. Focusing on the journey rather than the destination is another essential element of detachment. When you are overly fixated on the end goal, you may overlook the growth, lessons, and opportunities that arise along the way. Every step of your journey serves a purpose, preparing you for the fulfillment of your dreams. Embrace the process and find joy in the present moment. Trust in divine timing. Trusting in divine timing is one of the most liberating principles you can embrace on your journey to achieving your desires. It requires letting go of your impatience, doubts, and the need to control every detail. allowing the Creator to unfold your life in the perfect sequence. Divine timing reminds us that everything happens for a reason, and in the season that best serves our growth and ultimate purpose. Our human nature often leads us to want immediate results. We live in a fast-pacing world where instant gratification is celebrated. However, the divine plan operates on a higher level, beyond our limited understanding of time. The Creator's timing is not governed by clocks or calendars, but by purpose and preparation. Trusting this process means acknowledging that delays are not denials, but often necessary steps towards something greater. Intentionality awaiting delays must be the dominant force in any blind following of delays. Consider the analogy of a farmer planting seeds. The farmer does not expect a harvest the next day. They understand that the seeds need time to take root, grow, and bear fruit. Similarly, your dreams and goals are seeds planted in the soil of your faith. The period of waiting is not wasted, it is a time of unseen growth, where the Creator is aligning circumstances, opportunities, and even people to bring your vision to fruition. One of the most challenging aspects of trusting divine timing is maintaining faith during delays. When things don't happen as quickly as we'd like, it's easy to fall into doubt or frustration. However, these moments are opportunities to deepen your trust and strengthen your character. Patience is not passive, it is active faith in motion. It requires you to hold on to your vision and continue taking inspired actions while leaving the outcomes in the Creator's hand. Another essential element of trusting divine timing is recognizing that the Creator's plan is always better than our own. Sometimes we think we know what we want and when we want it, but the Creator sees the bigger picture. What feels like a delay or setback may actually be a divine detour leading you to something far greater than you imagined. Trust that the Creator is orchestrating every detail of your life with precision and care. Gratitude is a powerful practice that reinforces your trust in divine timing. When you express gratitude for where you are now, even if it's not where you ultimately want to be, you align yourself with the flow of blessings. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance and reminds you that the journey itself is a gift. Trust that each moment, even the waiting, is preparing you for the fulfillment of your dreams. Trusting divine timing also requires surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means releasing your need to control and allowing the Creator to guide your path. It's an act of faith that says, I trust that everything is happening exactly as it should, even if I can't see it right now. Surrender brings peace and freedom, enabling you to move forward with confidence and assurance. When you trust in divine timing, you step into a flow where life unfolds with grace and ease. Delays become opportunities, challenges become lessons, and every moment serves a purpose. Trust that what is meant for you will never miss you, and rest in the knowledge that the Creator's timing is always perfect. And you observe the law as the Creator holds our hand when it seems dark. You understand that. Keep this in mind as we journey together. As you reflect on this journey of transformation, remember that the path to manifesting your desires is not about force or struggle, but alignment and faith. Each principle embodying what you seek, releasing the need to control, shifting from wanting to believing, practicing gratitude, living in the end, detaching from outcomes, and trusting in divine timing, serves as a step toward becoming the person who naturally attracts the life you dream of. Imagine the Creator has already placed within you everything you need to succeed, thrive, and fulfill your purpose. Your role is not to chase after your desires with desperation, but to align your mind, emotions, and actions with the reality you wish to create. Trust in the process, knowing that your dreams are not only possible, but inevitable when you walk in faith. Let go of the doubts, fears, and impatience that hold you back. Rest in the assurance that what is meant for you will find its way to you, not because you forced it, but because you became ready to receive it. Allow your imagination to guide you, your gratitude to sustain you, and your faith to propel you forward. And this journey is not just about achieving goals, but about becoming the best version of yourself, stronger, wiser, and more attuned to the divine purpose for your life. So take these principles to heart, apply them daily, and watch as the universe unfolds in ways more extraordinary than you could ever imagine. The life you seek is waiting for you to claim it. Trust, believe, and step boldly into your destiny. Imagine standing by a quiet stream, its waters gliding effortlessly over rocks, bending around obstacles, and carving a path without resistance. The stream does not push or fight, it flows. It is not burdened by questions of how or why, it simply exists in perfect harmony with its purpose. Now consider your life. How often do you fight against the currents, clinging to expectations, fearing change, and resisting what life presents to you? Could it be that the secret to your success lies not in fighting, but in flowing? Throughout history, nature has been a profound teacher, and water remains its most eloquent messenger. Water is soft, yet it shapes mountains. It is flexible, yet it carves valleys. It is yielding, yet no force can resist it for long. There is a sacred wisdom in its ability to flow, to adapt, and to persist without losing its essence. And in this wisdom lies a divine lesson for us. The scriptures remind us, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness is not inactivity, it is surrender. It is aligning with the greater flow of life, trusting that the unseen hand of God is guiding your steps. But why is it so hard to let go? Why do we hold on so tightly to control, to plans, to outcomes? Perhaps it is fear, the fear of uncertainty, the fear of loss, the fear that if we release our grip, everything will fall apart. Yet the truth is the opposite. The more we cling, the more we resist, the further we drift from the flow of grace. Have you ever tried to swim against a strong current? The effort is exhausting, the progress minimal, and eventually you are swept back to where you started. What if the answer is not to swim harder, but to allow yourself to be carried by the current? Life is full of currents, some gentle, some fierce, and some that seem to pull us in directions we never intended. These currents are not random. They are orchestrated by a higher power. But to experience their blessing, we must learn the art of flexibility, the practice of letting go. It is not weakness to yield, it is strength to trust. It is faith to believe that what is meant for you will not pass you by, and what is not meant for you will be gently taken away. Consider the life of Joseph in the Bible, a young man thrown into a pit by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and unjustly imprisoned. At any point, Joseph could have fought against his circumstances, allowed bitterness to take root, or given up hope. But instead he flowed. He trusted that even in the darkness, God was working. And in time, the very path that seemed to lead to his destruction became the road to his destiny. Are you willing to trust that your current challenges are shaping you for something greater? Can you believe that even the detours are divinely designed? The greatest acts of faith often require the greatest acts of surrender. It is in letting go that we find freedom. It is in trusting the process that we discover peace. Like water, we are called to move with grace, to bend without breaking, to persist without force. When a river meets a boulder, it does not stop, it flows around it. It does not curse the obstacle, it adapts. And in its persistence, it eventually wears the boulder down. What if you could approach your life this way? What if, instead of resisting the challenges before you, you embrace them as opportunities to grow, to adapt, to discover new paths? God's design is not for us to live in constant struggle, but in abundant life. Yet, abundance is not achieved through striving, it is received through alignment. Alignment with His will, His timing, and His ways. Have you ever noticed how doors open effortlessly when you stop forcing them? How opportunities arise when you release the need to control every detail? This is the power of flowing like water. It is not passivity, it is profound trust. It is saying, God, I trust you with my life. I trust you with my dreams. I trust you with my future. Close your eyes for a moment and picture a river. See how it winds through valleys, over rocks, under bridges, and eventually reaches the vastness of the ocean. The river does not question its path, it simply flows. And in its flow, it fulfills its purpose. Now imagine your life as that river. Imagine releasing the need to know every twist and turn, the need to control every outcome. Imagine trusting that every challenge, every delay, every detour is part of the journey that leads you to your destiny. Can you feel the peace in that image? The freedom in letting go. This is the invitation that life offers you, to let go of fear, to release control, and to flow in trust. To know that you are not alone, that a divine force is guiding you, and that your path is unfolding exactly as it should. When you learn to flow like water, you align yourself with the power of creation itself. You become unstoppable, not because of force, but because of faith. And in this faith, miracles are born. So I ask you, what are you holding on to that is keeping you from flowing? What fears, doubts, or expectations are weighing you down? Today is the day to release them, to trust, to flow, to become like water, and in doing so, to discover the life you were created for. When we think of success, we often imagine unwavering determination, relentless effort, and an iron will that refuses to bend. But what if the secret to true success lies not in rigidity but in adaptability? Think about the tree that bends with the wind. Its branches sway and flex, yet it stands tall, unbroken, while the unyielding tree may snap under the same force. Life is not about fighting every storm. It is about learning to move with it. Adaptability begins with the mind. How often do we cling to plans that no longer serve us or hold tightly to ideas that limit our growth? The world around us is constantly changing, yet we resist. We resist because change feels like uncertainty, and uncertainty feels like chaos. But chaos is not our enemy, it is the birthplace of creation. Imagine a sculptor staring at a block of marble. At first it is formless, unrecognizable. But with each stroke of the chisel, beauty begins to emerge. Could it be that the changes and disruptions in your life are the chisel shaping you into something greater? Now consider the river. As it flows, it does not resist the rocks in its path. It adapts, finding a way around them, reshaping its course without losing its essence. This is the power of adaptability. It is not about abandoning your goals, but about trusting the process. What if the obstacle you face today is not there to stop you, but to redirect you towards something better? The scriptures remind us, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." But how can you receive those plans if you are clinging to your own? How can you embrace the fullness of what life offers if your hands are tightly grasping yesterday's dreams? Adaptability requires trust in a higher power, trust in the timing of life, and trust in your ability to navigate whatever comes your way. Ask yourself, where in your life are you holding on too tightly? Is it a relationship that no longer brings you joy? A job that stifles your growth? Or a belief that keeps you small? Adaptability does not mean giving up. It means letting go of what no longer aligns with your purpose. It means opening yourself to the possibilities you cannot yet see. When you embrace adaptability, you begin to see challenges as opportunities. The closed door becomes a redirection, the setback a setup for something greater. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" This shift in perspective transforms your life. Suddenly, you are no longer a victim of circumstances, but a co-creator with life itself. Imagine a potter shaping clay. The clay does not resist, it yields to the potter's hands, trusting in the process. And in that yielding, it becomes something beautiful. You too are being shaped. Your adaptability is the softening of the clay, the willingness to be molded into the masterpiece you were always meant to be. The greatest breakthroughs often come when we let go of how we think things should be and embrace what is. Adaptability is not weakness, it is strength. It is the strength to move forward even when the path is unclear, the courage to change course when the old ways no longer work. It is the wisdom to know that every twist and turn is part of a divine plan leading you to your destiny. So I challenge you to look at your life with fresh eyes. Where can you be more adaptable? What can you release to make room for something new? Remember, adaptability is not about losing control. It is about trusting the flow. And when you trust the flow, you align yourself with the infinite possibilities of creation. Control, it feels safe, doesn't it? The idea that if you hold tightly enough, plan carefully enough, and push hard enough, you can shape life to your will. But how often does control bring you peace? How often does it leave you exhausted, frustrated, and still far from your goals? The truth is, control is an illusion. Life is not something to be conquered, it is something to be experienced. Think of a seed planted in the soil. Once buried, the seed does not struggle or strain. It does not demand the sun to rise or the rain to fall. It simply rests, trusting the unseen forces of nature to do their work. And in that surrender, a miracle occurs. The seed transforms, breaking open to reveal the potential within. Could it be that your life is waiting for the same surrender? Letting go of control is not about giving up. It is about giving in to the flow of life, to the guidance of a higher power, to the natural rhythms that govern creation. The more you cling, the more you resist. And the more you resist, the further you drift from the life that is meant for you. The scriptures teach us trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Yet how often do we lean on our understanding, trying to force outcomes, manipulate circumstances, and control every detail? What if instead you leaned into trust? What if you believed that what is meant for you will come, not through force, but through faith? Consider the story of Peter walking on water. As long as his focus was on faith, he defied the laws of nature. But the moment he tried to control the situation, fear crept in and he began to sink. How often do we do the same? We start with faith, but when things don't go as planned, we tighten our grip, trying to wrestle life into submission. And in doing so, we lose the very magic that was carrying us forward. Letting go of control requires courage. It is the courage to step into the unknown, to trust that the path will reveal itself even if you cannot see it now. It is the willingness to release the need for certainty and embrace the adventure of discovery. And in that release, you find freedom. Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. But when you open your hand, the sand rests gently in your palm. This is the essence of letting go. It is not about losing. It is about receiving in a way that cannot happen when your fists are clenched. When you let go of control, you make room for miracles. You allow life to surprise you, to exceed your expectations. You stop limiting yourself with your plans and open yourself to the infinite possibilities of creation. It is in this surrender that true manifestation occurs, not through struggle, but through alignment. So take a deep breath and ask yourself, what are you holding on to so tightly that it is holding you back? Is it a specific outcome, a fear of failure, or a need to prove yourself? Whatever it is, release it. Trust that the forces at work in your life are greater than you can imagine. Trust that letting go is not the end of control, but the beginning of freedom. When you surrender, you step into the flow of life. And in that flow, you find that everything you've been chasing begins to come to you. Faith is the bridge between what you desire and what you manifest. Yet how often do we limit our faith to what we can see? We look around, judging our progress by visible signs, growing discouraged when results don't appear quickly enough. But faith, true faith, is about trusting in the unseen. It's about believing in what hasn't yet taken form, knowing that your thoughts, your intentions, and your trust are shaping your reality, even when there is no evidence to prove it. Imagine a farmer planting seeds in a vast field. Day after day, he waters the soil, tends to it, and ensures it receives sunlight. For weeks, there's no visible sign of growth. To the untrained eye, it might seem as though nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, the seed is transforming. Roots are taking hold, and a foundation is being built. The farmer doesn't stop tending to the field because he can't see the results yet. He knows that in time the harvest will come. Your life is much the same. The dreams you have planted, the goals you have envisioned, they are like seeds. You may not see immediate results, but beneath the surface something is growing. Faith in the unseen means trusting the process, even when the outcome feels distant or uncertain. It means believing that the forces at work, both within you and beyond you, are aligning to bring your desires into reality. There are fewer things more powerful than the unseen forces working in your life. The scriptures remind us, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This is not merely a poetic statement, it is a profound truth. Faith is the substance, the building material of your dreams. It is not an empty wish, but a creative force. When you have faith in the unseen, you activate that force. You align yourself with the infinite power that brings thoughts into form. Think about the times in your life when you've doubted. What did doubt achieve? It brought fear, hesitation, and inaction. Doubt closes doors before they have a chance to open, but faith does the opposite. Faith opens doors you didn't even know existed. It creates pathways where none seemed possible. Faith in the unseen is not about passivity, it is about active trust. It's about stepping forward, even when the path is foggy, knowing that each step will reveal the next. Consider the story of Abraham, who was called to leave everything familiar and journey to an unknown land. He didn't have a map or a clear destination, only a promise. Yet he went, guided by faith in the unseen. And because of that faith, he became the father of many nations. How often do we hesitate because we want guarantees? We want to see the entire picture before we take the first step. But life doesn't work that way. Faith in the unseen requires us to move forward without guarantees, trusting that the vision placed in our hearts is there for a reason. Ask yourself, where in your life are you hesitating because you can't see the full path? What dreams have you set aside because they seem too big, too distant, or too uncertain? Faith in the unseen challenges you to pick up those dreams again, to believe that what you cannot see is already in motion, shaping itself to meet you. When you trust in the unseen, you free yourself from the need for constant validation. You stop looking for signs that your efforts are paying off and start focusing on the energy you're putting out. You realize that the unseen realm is where everything begins. Your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, they are the unseen forces creating your reality. And when you align those forces with faith, you become unstoppable. Hitherto, close your eyes for a moment and think about a dream you've carried in your heart. Imagine it as a seed, planted deep in the soil of your life. Feel the faith rising within you, nurturing that seed, watering it with your trust and believing in its growth even when you can't see it. That is the power of faith in the unseen. It's not about wishful thinking. It's about knowing that the process is working, even when you don't have all the answers. Resistance is the silent force that holds you back, the invisible wall that keeps you from moving forward. It shows up as fear, doubt, procrastination, or even anger. Resistance whispers that you're not ready, not capable, or not deserving. And if you listen to it, resistance wins. But what if resistance isn't your enemy? What if it's a signal, a guidepost, showing you exactly where your growth lies? Imagine trying to push against a heavy door. The harder you push, the more energy you expend, and yet the door doesn't budge. Now imagine stepping back, taking a deep breath, and realizing there's a key in your pocket. That key unlocks the door effortlessly. Resistance is the heavy door, but the key is your willingness to flow. It's your decision to stop fighting and start aligning. Life is not meant to be a constant struggle. Yes, challenges will come, but resistance often arises when you're forcing something that isn't in alignment with your purpose. Think about a river flowing effortlessly around rocks and obstacles. It doesn't stop and push against the boulders, it finds another path. Resistance teaches us to do the same. Instead of fighting against what isn't working, ask yourself, what path can I take that feels more aligned, more natural, more true to who I am? The scriptures tell us, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. This doesn't mean life will be free of challenges, but it does mean that when you align with your higher purpose, the path becomes clear. Resistance is often a sign that you're out of alignment. It's a nudge, urging you to step back and reassess. Are you pursuing a goal out of fear or obligation rather than passion and faith? Are you clinging to a plan that no longer serves you simply because it's familiar? Overcoming resistance begins with awareness. You can't conquer what you refuse to acknowledge. Start by identifying where resistance shows up in your life. Is it in your relationships, your work, your health, or your personal growth? Once you recognize it, don't fight it. Listen to it. Resistance is a teacher, revealing where you need to let go, adapt, or trust more deeply. Consider the story of Jonah, who resisted God's call and tried to run in the opposite direction. His resistance didn't change the call, it only delayed his journey and brought unnecessary hardship. How often do we do the same? We resist the very path that leads to our destiny, thinking we know better, only to find ourselves stuck, frustrated, and going in circles. When you stop fighting resistance and start flowing with it, something remarkable happens. You discover a strength you didn't know you had. You realize that the obstacles you feared were never meant to block you, but to shape you. Resistance is not there to defeat you, it's there to refine you. So when your experience calls you, ask yourself, what are you resisting right now? Is it a change, a challenge, or a truth you don't want to face? Instead of fighting it, try flowing with it. Trust that resistance is guiding you to a breakthrough. Trust that what feels like a barrier is actually an invitation to grow, to stretch, to become more. Overcoming resistance doesn't mean the journey will be easy, but it does mean it will be worth it. When you stop resisting and start flowing, you align with the natural rhythm of life. You stop wasting energy on battles you don't need to fight and start focusing on the opportunities before you. And in that flow, you find the freedom to move forward, not with force, but with grace. These expansions aim to captivate, resonate emotionally, and inspire action. Let me know if you'd like further refinements. Patience. It's a virtue we hear about often, yet it's one of the most challenging qualities to embody. In a world driven by instant gratification, the idea of waiting for something to unfold feels almost unbearable. But true manifestation doesn't happen on demand. It unfolds through a divine process, in its own perfect timing. Patience is not just about waiting. It's about trusting the process while you wait. It's about knowing deep in your soul that everything is happening exactly as it should. The universe is always waiting. It never loses. Imagine a master artist painting a masterpiece. Each stroke is deliberate, precise, and carefully considered. The artist doesn't rush the process. They allow the painting to take shape gradually, layer by layer. You are that masterpiece, and life is the artist. Every experience, every lesson, every moment of waiting is a brushstroke, adding depth, texture, and beauty to the greater picture of your life. But here's the challenge. We often want to see the finished painting before it's complete. We look at the half-finished work and doubt its potential. We grow impatient, frustrated, and even disheartened. Yet what we fail to realize is that the process is part of the perfection. The waiting, the delays, the seemingly slow progress, they are all necessary steps in the creation of something extraordinary. It seems a very long process. So let's start with the early and most important process, the seemingly slow progress. The scriptures remind us, for everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. But do we truly believe this? Or do we let impatience cloud our faith? Think of a farmer planting seeds in the soil. The farmer doesn't dig up the seeds every day to check if they've sprouted. They trust the process, knowing that growth is happening, even when it's not visible. They water the soil, tend to it with care, and wait patiently for the harvest. In your own life, where are you struggling to be patient? Perhaps it's in your career, your relationships, or your personal growth. You may feel like you've been working tirelessly with little to show for it. But what if the delay is not a denial? What if it's a preparation? Could it be that the time you perceive as waiting is actually the time you're being prepared for what's to come? Patience in the process requires faith. It's about surrendering your timeline and trusting in divine timing. It's about believing that the forces at work in your life are orchestrating something far greater than you could imagine. When you rush, you risk missing the beauty of the journey. When you grow impatient, you rob yourself of the lessons and growth that come from the process. Think about the stories of great achievers. Their journeys were rarely linear. They faced setbacks, delays, and seasons of waiting. Yet, in hindsight, they often realized that those periods of waiting were crucial. They were not wasted time, but formative experiences that prepared them for their breakthroughs. What if the same is true for you? Patience is not passive. It's an active trust in the process. It's about showing up every day, doing your part, and leaving the rest in the hands of God. It's about finding joy in the small steps, the quiet moments, and the progress that may not yet be visible to others. It's about knowing that every step, no matter how small, is leading you closer to your destiny. Close your eyes for a moment and think about something you're waiting for. Perhaps it's a dream, a goal, or a breakthrough. Now imagine yourself letting go of the need for it to happen right now. Imagine trusting that it will come in the perfect time, in the perfect way. Feel the peace that comes from releasing the pressure of impatience. That is the power of patience in the process. Obstacles. The very word often carries a sense of dread, frustration, and defeat. Yet, what if obstacles are not the enemy but the guide? What if every challenge you face is an invitation to grow, to rise, and to discover the depths of your own strength? Life's obstacles are not barriers to your progress, they are bridges to your transformation. Imagine a mountain climber staring up at a towering peak. To some, the mountain looks insurmountable, a massive, immovable obstacle. But to the climber, it's an opportunity. Every step up the mountain, every struggle against gravity, and every challenge faced is part of the journey to the summit. The mountain doesn't block the climber, it shapes them. It strengthens their resolve, builds their endurance, and reveals their capacity to achieve the impossible. Reframing obstacles begins with a shift in perspective. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Every obstacle carries a lesson, a hidden gift, waiting to be uncovered. But you must be willing to look beyond the surface. You must be willing to see the opportunity within the challenge. The scriptures tell us all things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to His purpose. This doesn't mean life will be free of obstacles. It means that even the obstacles serve a purpose. Even the setbacks are part of the plan. When you reframe obstacles, you stop seeing them as interruptions and start seeing them as stepping stones. Think about the challenges you've faced in your own life. How many times have you looked back and realized that what seemed like a setback was actually a setup for something greater? Perhaps a job you lost led you to a better opportunity. Perhaps a relationship that ended made space for one that was more aligned. Obstacles have a way of redirecting us, guiding us to the paths we were meant to take. Reframing obstacles is not about denying the difficulty. It's about finding meaning in the midst of it. It's about understanding that every challenge has the potential to shape you into the person you are meant to be. It's about seeing the obstacle not as a block but as a teacher. Consider the story of David and Goliath. To the Israelites, Goliath was an insurmountable obstacle, a giant who could not be defeated. But to David, Goliath was an opportunity to demonstrate faith, courage, and the power of God. David didn't see the giant as a barrier, he saw him as a chance to rise. And because of that perspective, what seemed impossible became a victory that changed the course of history. In your own life, where are you facing Goliaths? What obstacles feel overwhelming or impossible to overcome? What if you could see them differently? What if, instead of fearing them, you embrace them as opportunities to grow? Reframing obstacles is a practice, a mindset. It requires you to pause, reflect, and ask deeper questions. What is this challenge teaching me? How is it shaping me? What opportunities are hidden within it? When you approach life this way, obstacles lose their power to defeat you. Instead, they become tools for your transformation. Imagine standing at the base of a great mountain. The climb looks daunting, but you take the first step, then another. With each step, you grow stronger, more confident, more resilient. By the time you reach the summit, you realize that the mountain was never the obstacle, it was the path. This is the power of reframing obstacles. As you face challenges in your life, remember that they are not here to stop you. They are here to shape you. Embrace them, learn from them, and let them guide you to the next level of your journey. You were not meant to be defeated, you were meant to rise. Alignment with the divine is the cornerstone of manifestation and true fulfillment. When your actions, thoughts, and desires are in harmony with the higher power, you tap into an infinite source of wisdom, guidance, and abundance. It is like tuning an instrument. When perfectly aligned, every note resonates with beauty and purpose. But when you are out of tune, when you act from fear, ego, or doubt, the result is discord. The question is, how can you align your life so perfectly with the divine that everything flows effortlessly toward you? The scriptures teach us, seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. This is not just a call to faith, but a profound truth about the nature of alignment. When you seek God first, when you place spiritual principles above material desires, you position yourself to receive all that is meant for you. Alignment is not about asking for what you want and hoping it will be granted. It is about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts what they desire, because their spirit is in tune with divine purpose. Picture a river flowing freely toward the ocean. It doesn't struggle or strain, it simply follows the natural course carved for it. But imagine if the river suddenly decided to flow uphill, defying gravity and its intended path. Chaos would ensue. This is what happens when we step out of alignment with the divine. We struggle, we force, we push, and yet we make little progress. Alignment is about surrendering to the natural flow, trusting that the path laid out for you is not only right but perfect. To align with the divine, you must first quiet the noise within. The distractions of the world, fear, comparison, and the relentless pursuit of material success can drown out the still, small voice of God. Have you ever felt a nudge, a whisper in your heart, guiding you towards something greater? That is divine alignment calling you. But to hear it, you must create space for it. Prayer, meditation, and reflection are tools that help you tune into this higher frequency, allowing you to align your will with the will of the Creator. Consider the story of Noah. When God commanded him to build an ark, the task seemed impossible, even absurd. Yet Noah aligned himself with divine instruction, trusting in a plan he could not fully see or understand. Because of his alignment, he was able to fulfill a purpose far greater than himself, preserving life and becoming part of a divine legacy. How often do we ignore divine guidance because it doesn't fit our logic or expectations? Alignment requires trust, even when the path seems unclear. Alignment is not about perfection, it is about intention. It's not about never making mistakes, but about consistently returning to the path when you stray. Think of a compass. No matter how far you veer off course, the compass always points north, guiding you back to alignment. In the same way, God's guidance is always available to you. The question is, are you willing to follow it? One of the greatest barriers to alignment is the need for control. We try to dictate every step, force outcomes, and hold tightly to our plans. But alignment requires surrender. It's about releasing your grip on the how and trusting the why. It's about believing that the divine knows the best path for you, even when it doesn't make sense in the moment. Have you ever noticed how doors open effortlessly when you stop forcing them? That's alignment at work. When you are aligned with the divine, you begin to see life differently. Challenges no longer feel like punishments but opportunities for growth. Delays no longer feel like denials but divine timing. You stop chasing after what you want and start attracting it naturally because you are in harmony with the greater plan. Imagine the peace, the joy, and the freedom that come from living this way. Alignment also requires gratitude. When you focus on what you already have, you shift your energy from lack to abundance. Gratitude is a powerful tool for alignment because it reminds you of the blessings already present in your life. It shifts your perspective, allowing you to see God's hand in everything. And when you acknowledge and appreciate these blessings, you open the door for even more to flow into your life. Think about a time when you felt completely at peace, when everything seemed to fall into place effortlessly. That is the power of alignment. It's not a fleeting moment, but a state of being that you can cultivate daily. It starts with intention, choosing to seek divine guidance in every decision, every action, every thought. It grows with faith, believing that you are supported, loved, and guided every step of the way. And it flourishes with trust, letting go of your plans and embracing God's. So how do you align with the divine? You start by seeking God first, quieting the noise and trusting the process. You surrender your fears, doubts, and need for control, replacing them with faith, gratitude, and intentional action. Alignment is not a one-time choice, but a daily commitment, a practice of tuning your heart, mind, and soul to the higher frequency of divine purpose. As you align with the divine, you will find that life flows more effortlessly. The struggles that once felt insurmountable begin to fade, and the path ahead becomes clear. You discover that your desires, when aligned with divine will, are not only achievable but inevitable. This is the power of alignment, a life where you are no longer chasing your dreams but living them. A life where you are not striving but thriving. Trust in this alignment, and you will find that everything you seek is already seeking you. As we journey through life, we often find ourselves caught between the desire to achieve and the struggle to let go. But the truth is, the path to manifestation lies not in force but in flow. Like water, we are called to adapt, to trust, to overcome resistance, and to align with a greater purpose. Each step is an invitation to let go of what no longer serves us and embrace what is divinely orchestrated for our growth. Remember, adaptability allows you to bend without breaking, letting you navigate life's twists and turns with grace. Letting go of control is not about giving up but trusting that the universe works in your favor when you surrender. Faith in the unseen empowers you to trust in what you cannot yet see, knowing that miracles are already unfolding beneath the surface. Overcoming resistance teaches you that challenges are not barriers but opportunities to grow. Patience in the process reminds you that waiting is not a punishment but a preparation for your breakthrough. Reframing obstacles shifts your perspective, turning setbacks into stepping stones. And alignment with the divine anchors your soul, ensuring that you are always walking in the light of your purpose. Every step you take toward embodying these principles brings you closer to the life you've envisioned, a life filled with peace, purpose, and abundance. Like water, you have the power to flow around obstacles, carve new paths, and create a life that reflects your highest potential. Trust in the process, and trust in the divine. So I leave you with this thought: the river does not question its path, nor does it fear the rocks in its way. It simply flows, trusting that every turn, every twist, every moment is part of the journey to its destination. Be like the river. Flow with faith, with trust, and with grace. Thank you for joining me today. Let this message inspire you to live with intention, to embrace the flow of life, and to align yourself with the infinite statities that await. Remember, everything you seek is already seeking you. Trust the process and the miracles will unfold. Until next time, stay inspired and keep flowing like water. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves rise and fall, flowing with effortless grace. They do not strain or resist, they simply move with the rhythm of life. Now think of your own desires, those dreams you cradle close to your heart, the ones that keep you awake at night. How often do you grasp at them with clenched fists, desperate to make them a reality? How often does the weight of that desperation pull you under, leaving you feeling more lost than ever? Life is not meant to be a battlefield where we wrestle for every blessing. Consider the lilies of the field. They neither toil nor spin, yet they are adorned in a splendor unmatched by kings. This is not a mere poetic observation, but a profound truth about how the universe works. There is a divine order, a flow that governs all things. To fight against it is to resist the very essence of creation. So why do we insist on holding so tightly to things we were never meant to control? Have you ever noticed that the harder you chase something, the further it seems to slip away? It's as though life itself whispers a sacred truth: what is truly meant for you will never require you to chase it. It will come to you when you are ready. But readiness is not about force, it's about surrender. What does it mean to surrender, though? Does it mean giving up? Does it mean resigning to a life of unfulfilled dreams? Absolutely not. Surrender is not the absence of action, it is the presence of trust. It is the willingness to step back, to unclench your hands, and to allow the divine to work in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Imagine planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to check its progress. Instead, you trust the soil, the rain, and the sun to do their work. You let go, knowing that growth happens in the unseen places long before it manifests in the visible. Why then do we struggle to apply the same faith to our own lives? Could it be that we've been conditioned to believe that control equals power? That the only way to achieve our desires is to hold on tightly, never letting go? But what if true power lies not in clinging but in releasing? What if the act of letting go is not a sign of weakness but the ultimate expression of strength? These are the questions we must ask ourselves if we are to truly understand the law of detachment. The law of detachment is not a call to apathy, it is a call to trust. Trust in the process, trust in the timing, and trust in the higher power that governs all things. But how do we get there? How do we move from the fear of losing what we desire to the faith that it will come in its own perfect time? The answer lies in understanding that detachment is not about indifference but about freedom. It is about releasing the chains of desperation and stepping into the flow of grace. When we detach, we create space. Space for miracles, space for possibilities, and space for the divine to move in ways we cannot predict. But creating space requires courage. It requires us to let go of our timelines, our expectations, and even our identities tied to the things we think we need. It is in this letting go that we find true freedom, a freedom that allows us to live in harmony with the universe rather than in opposition to it. Pause for a moment and reflect. What are you holding on to so tightly that it's preventing you from moving forward? What dream, relationship, or goal has become a source of anxiety rather than joy? Are you willing to release it, not to lose it, but to transform your relationship with it? Because the truth is, what is meant for you will never miss you. It will find you when you are ready, but readiness begins with letting go. Letting go is not an act of abandonment, it is an act of faith. Faith that the seeds you've planted will grow. Faith that the work you've done will bear fruit. And faith that the universe is conspiring in your favor, even when it seems to be silent. It is in this faith that we find the courage to detach, and in detachment we find the freedom to live fully, to dream boldly, and to receive abundantly. Now, as we move forward, let us explore the 7 key points that will help you master the art of letting things come to you through the law of detachment. Let these truths guide you as you step into the freedom that detachment offers, and watch as life begins to flow toward you with grace and ease. 1. Release the need for control. What does control mean to you? Is it the assurance of outcomes or the ability to dictate every twist and turn in your life? Many of us cling to control, believing it is the secret to achieving our desires. But let me challenge that belief. Control is not strength, it is fear disguised as power. True strength lies in releasing the need to control, trusting that what is meant for you will arrive in its own perfect time. Consider this: when you try to control a situation, you are operating from a place of scarcity. You fear that if you don't grip tightly, it will slip away. Yet have you noticed how life often works against such force? Imagine holding water in your hands. If you clutch it too tightly, it spills through your fingers. The harder you try, the more you lose. The same principle applies to life. The need for control stems from fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of losing what you hold dear. But here's the truth: the unknown is not your enemy. It is a realm of infinite possibilities, a space where miracles are born. When you release control, you are not giving up, you are creating room for those miracles to manifest. Think of a seed planted in the earth. Do you dig it up every day to check if it's growing? No, you trust the soil, the rain, and the sun to do their work. You let go because you understand that growth happens in the unseen. This is the essence of releasing control. It is not passivity but active trust, a trust in the process, in divine timing, and in your ability to handle whatever comes. Releasing control is liberating. It frees you from the burden of micromanaging every aspect of your life. It allows you to live fully in the present moment, where real power resides. When you let go, you step into the flow of life, aligning yourself with a force far greater than your own understanding. But how do you release control? Start by identifying what you're holding on to so tightly. Is it a relationship? A dream? A fear of failure? Acknowledge the weight of that grip. Then ask yourself, what would happen if you let go? Would the world fall apart, or would it finally fall into place? Letting go requires faith. Faith that the universe is conspiring in your favor, even when it seems silent. Faith that every closed door is redirecting you to something better. Faith that what is meant for you will never miss you. This faith is not blind optimism, it is a profound knowing that your role is to plant the seeds, not to force their growth. When you release the need for control, you open yourself to possibilities beyond your imagination. You become like a river flowing effortlessly toward its destination. No longer are you struggling against the current, exhausting yourself in the process. Instead, you move with grace, trusting that the journey itself is part of the miracle. Now reflect: what are you gripping so tightly that it's holding you back? What would it feel like to release that grip and trust the process? The answer is freedom, a freedom that allows you to breathe, to grow, and to receive the blessings waiting for you. Focus on the present moment. The present moment is a gift, yet how often do we squander it? We dwell on the past, replaying regrets and what ifs. Or we leap ahead to the future, worrying about things that haven't even happened. In doing so, we miss the only moment that truly exists now. Think about this: when was the last time you were fully present? Not distracted by your phone, not lost in thought, but completely immersed in the here and now. For most of us, those moments are rare. Yet they are the key to unlocking the peace and clarity we so desperately seek. Why do we avoid the present? Because it demands our attention, our honesty, and our courage. To live in the now means confronting life as it is, without filters or distractions. But here's the paradox: it is only in embracing the present that we find the power to change our future. Imagine you are walking through a forest. The path ahead is unclear and the trail behind is fading. The only way forward is to focus on where you are now, step by step. This is life. When you fixate on what's ahead or behind, you stumble. But when you anchor yourself in the moment, you move with purpose and ease. Being present does not mean ignoring your dreams or goals. It means grounding yourself in the actions and thoughts that serve you right now. It means taking the next step with intention, trusting that each step will lead you closer to your destination. The present moment also offers clarity. When you are fully present, you see life as it is, not as your fears or hopes distort it. You notice the beauty in the mundane, the opportunities in the challenges, and the blessings you might otherwise overlook. You stop chasing and start receiving. How do you practice presence? Begin by slowing down. Take a deep breath. Feel your feet on the ground, the air in your lungs. Notice the sounds around you, the sensations in your body. This is life unfolding in real time. It doesn't need to be fixed or improved. It simply needs to be lived. Let go of the need to rush. The present moment is not a stepping stone to the future, it is the foundation upon which your future is built. When you focus on now, you unlock your greatest potential. You stop worrying about what's to come because you trust in your ability to handle it when it arrives. So pause. Take a moment to simply be. Let go of the past, release the future, and anchor yourself in the present. Because it is here in the now that life happens. And it is here that you will find the peace, power, and clarity you've been searching for. 3. Cultivate inner fulfillment. True fulfillment is not found in the world around you, but within you. Yet how many of us spend our lives chasing external validation, believing that the next job, the next relationship, or the next milestone will finally bring us happiness? This endless pursuit often leaves us feeling hollow, because we're looking for something outside that only exists within. Inner fulfillment is not a destination, it is a state of being. Pause and reflect, when was the last time you felt truly fulfilled? Was it because of something external, or was it a moment when you were deeply connected to yourself, your purpose, and your Creator? The truth is, external achievements may bring temporary satisfaction, but they cannot sustain you. A beautiful house can never fill a restless soul. A successful career cannot quiet a mind tormented by insecurity. Why? Because fulfillment begins where external pursuits end, within the heart. When you cultivate inner fulfillment, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of seeking approval from others. You stop measuring your worth by society's ever-changing standards. Instead, you root yourself in something eternal, your connection to your Creator and the purpose for which you were designed. This is the foundation of true peace. It cannot be shaken by failure or stolen by criticism, because it is not dependent on the outside world. But how do you cultivate inner fulfillment? Start by nurturing your relationship with yourself. Spend time in silence and solitude, listening to the whispers of your heart. What brings you joy? What aligns with your values? What ignites your passion? These are not questions the world can answer for you. They require introspection, patience, and the courage to follow your inner compass. And inner fulfillment also comes from gratitude. When you focus on what you already have rather than what you lack, you shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude opens your eyes to the blessings you often overlook. It reminds you that you are already whole, already complete, and that nothing external can add or take away from your inherent worth. Consider this: the world encourages us to look outward for fulfillment, to compare ourselves to others, to accumulate more and more in the hopes of feeling enough. But the more you compare, the more you lose sight of your own unique path. And the more you accumulate, the more you realize that material things can never fill a spiritual void. Cultivating inner fulfillment requires detachment, not from life, but from the illusions that distract you from your true essence. It means letting go of the need for constant approval and trusting that you are enough just as you are. It means finding joy in the simple things: the warmth of the sun, the laughter of a friend, the stillness of a quiet morning. These moments are fleeting, but the fulfillment they bring is lasting when you approach them with an open heart. When you live from a place of inner fulfillment, you stop chasing and start attracting. You no longer seek relationships, careers, or possessions to complete you. Instead, you bring your wholeness into everything you do, and in doing so, you magnetize blessings you never imagined. This is the power of living from within. So ask yourself, are you chasing fulfillment in places where it can never be found? Are you looking to the world to fill a void that only your Creator can fill? The journey to inner fulfillment is not always easy, but it is always worth it. And it begins with a simple decision to stop looking outward and start looking within. 4. Trust divine timing. There is a time for everything, a season for every purpose under heaven. Yet how often do we grow impatient, demanding that life conform to our timelines? We rush, we force, and we worry, all the while forgetting that the Creator's timing is always perfect. Trusting divine timing is not about passivity, it's about aligning your actions with faith in a plan greater than your own. Think about the moments in your life when things didn't go as you planned. At the time, it may have felt like failure or rejection. But as you look back, can you see how those detours led you to something better? This is the beauty of divine timing. It sees the entire picture while we only see fragments. It knows what is best for us, and when we are ready to receive it. Trusting divine timing requires patience, and patience is often uncomfortable. It means waiting without knowing the outcome, trusting without seeing the evidence. But patience is not idle. It is active faith. It is continuing to plant seeds even when you need no immediate growth. It is showing up, doing your part, and then stepping back, knowing that the universe will handle the rest. Why do we struggle to trust divine timing? Because we are conditioned to believe that faster is better, that progress must always be visible, and that delays are setback. But delays are not denials, they are often divine protections or preparations. The time you spend waiting is not wasted. It is the season where your roots grow deeper, your character strengthens, and your perspective shifts. Consider a caterpillar in its cocoon. To the outside world, it appears dormant. But inside, a transformation is taking place. When the time is right, it emerges as a butterfly, not a moment too soon or too late. The same is true for you. Your growth may not always be visible, but it is happening in the unseen places. And when the time is right, you will emerge into the fullness of your destiny. How do you cultivate trust in divine timing? Begin by releasing your need for control. Accept that you cannot see the entire path and that it's okay not to know all the answers. Practice gratitude for where you are now, even if it's not where you want to be. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance and reminds you that every moment, even the waiting, has value. Remember, divine timing is not about meeting your deadlines. It is about aligning with a higher plan. It is about trusting that everything is unfolding as it should, even when it doesn't make sense. So, instead of fighting the process, flow with it. Instead of rushing, rest in the knowledge that your Creator's plan is always for your highest good. Ask yourself, where in your life are you resisting the flow of divine timing? What would it look like to release that resistance and trust fully? The answers may not come immediately, but they will come when you're ready. Until then, keep planting, keep growing, and keep trusting. Because in divine timing, everything that is meant for you will find its way to you, and it will be worth the wait. 5. Embrace uncertainty. Letting go of the how is one of the most liberating yet challenging aspects of manifesting your desires. It requires a profound level of trust in divine timing, in the process, and in the infinite wisdom of the Creator. Too often we become entangled in the need to control every detail of how our dreams will unfold. We analyze, strategize, and overthink, hoping to engineer the perfect sequence of events that will bring our desires to fruition. But this constant grasping for control creates resistance. It shifts our focus from faith to fear, from trust to doubt, and from flow to frustration. Letting go of the how is about stepping back from the need to micromanage the universe and allowing divine intelligence to take the lead. Think about the times in your life when things worked out in ways you couldn't have predicted. Perhaps an unexpected opportunity appeared, or a chance encounter opened doors you didn't even know existed. These moments serve as reminders that the how is often beyond our comprehension. The Creator's plan is far more intricate and expansive than anything we could imagine. When we cling to our limited understanding of how things should happen, we block the flow of blessings that are already prepared for us. Letting go of the how doesn't mean giving up on your dreams or abandoning your goals. It means releasing the need to know every step of the journey and trusting that the path will reveal itself in divine timing. This trust is not passive, it is active faith. It is a choice to believe that what you desire is already on its way, even if you cannot yet see it. It is an affirmation that the universe is working behind the scenes, orchestrating the perfect circumstances for your dreams to manifest. When you release the how, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and anxiety. Worrying about the details of how something will happen only drains your energy and clouds your vision. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of doubt, constantly second guessing whether you're doing enough or whether you're on the right track. But when you let go, you step into a space of peace and clarity. You allow yourself to be present in the moment, trusting that each step you take is part of a greater plan. Imagine trying to climb a staircase while fixating on the top step. You'd miss the steps right in front of you and risk stumbling along the way. Letting go of the how is about focusing on the step you're on and trusting that the next step will appear when the time is right. It's about taking inspired action without getting lost in the need to control the outcome. Each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your destination, even if you can't yet see the full path. This trust in the process is a powerful act of faith. It is a declaration that you believe in the abundance of the universe and in your own ability to receive it. When you let go of the how, you align yourself with the flow of divine energy. You become a co-creator with the universe, working in harmony with forces that are far greater than your own efforts. This alignment allows you to move through life with grace and ease, knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. Letting go also requires releasing the fear of failure. Sometimes we hold on to the how because we are afraid that if we don't control every detail, things won't work out. But this fear is a reflection of doubt, not faith. True faith knows that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone to something greater. It understands that even setbacks and challenges are part of the divine plan designed to shape us, teach us, and prepare us for the blessings ahead. One of the most beautiful aspects of letting go of the how is that it opens the door for miracles. When you release control, you create space for the unexpected. You allow the universe to surprise you with possibilities that are beyond your imagination. Miracles often happen when we step out of the way and trust the process. They remind us that we are not alone in our journey, that there is a divine force guiding us toward our highest good. To let go of the how is to surrender to the infinite wisdom of the Creator. It is to acknowledge that you don't have to have all the answers because you are supported by a power that knows what is best for you. This surrender is not weakness, it is strength. It is the strength to trust, to believe, and to release the need for control. It is the strength to say, I don't need to know how this will happen. I only need to know that it will. As you let go of the how, you will begin to notice a shift in your energy. You will feel lighter, freer, and more at peace. The weight of trying to control every detail will lift, and you will find yourself moving through life with a sense of ease and flow. Opportunities will begin to appear, seemingly out of nowhere. Solutions to problems will arise effortlessly. The things you've been striving for will start to come to you, not because you forced them, but because you aligned with them. This process of letting go is not always easy. It requires patience, trust, and a willingness to release old patterns of control. But as you practice letting go, you will discover a deeper sense of faith and a greater connection to the divine. You will realize that the how is not your responsibility. Your role is to believe, to take inspired action, and to trust that everything is working together for your good. Letting go of the how is an invitation to step into the flow of life. It is a call to trust in the unseen, to believe in the impossible, and to surrender to the infinite possibilities that await you. When you release the need to control, you open yourself to receive the blessings that are already prepared for you. And in that space of trust and surrender, you will find that the life you've been striving for is already yours. 6. Align your actions with faith. Faith is the foundation of transformation, but without aligned action, it remains dormant potential. To truly live a life of abundance and fulfillment, your actions must reflect the faith you hold in your heart. Aligning your actions with faith is the bridge that connects belief to manifestation. It's the way you show both yourself and the universe that you are ready to receive what you desire. Faith isn't just what you feel, it's what you do. When your actions mirror your belief, you unlock the power of divine alignment. Imagine someone who claims to believe in the potential for growth, but does nothing to nurture the seeds they've planted. A farmer who leaves their field unwatered will not see a harvest, no matter how fervently they believe in the power of the seed. Similarly, faith requires action, not forced or desperate action, but inspired and intentional action that is in harmony with your desires. Ask yourself, what would your life look like if your actions consistently aligned with your faith? How would you carry yourself? What choices would you make? To align your actions with faith means living as though your desires have already been fulfilled. This doesn't mean pretending or faking it. It means embodying the confidence, gratitude, and joy that come from believing your blessings are already yours. Living as though it is already yours, one of the most powerful ways to align your actions with faith, is to live as though your desires have already come to pass. If you're praying for abundance, begin managing your current resources wisely. Act as a good steward of what you already have, showing that you are prepared to handle the greater blessings that are on their way. If you're seeking peace, cultivate habits that bring calmness into your life, whether it's through meditation, prayer, or spending time in nature. When you act in alignment with your faith, you shift your energy from one of lack to one of abundance. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, you focus on preparing for what is to come. This shift is powerful. It reinforces your belief and signals to the universe that you are ready to receive. The role of preparation is a tangible demonstration of faith. Imagine you're expecting an important guest in your home. You would like to clean, organize, and make sure everything is in order to welcome them. Why? Because you believe they are coming. In the same way, when you prepare for your blessings, you affirm your belief that they are on their way. If you're praying for a new job, take steps to prepare yourself, update your resume, learn new skills, and practice for interviews. If you're seeking love, work on becoming the best version of yourself so you can attract the kind of relationship you desire. Preparation is not just about practical steps, it's a spiritual practice that aligns your actions with your faith. Consistency is key. Aligning your actions with faith is not a one-time event, it's a daily commitment. It requires consistency and intentionality. Small, consistent actions can create monumental change over time. Consider the story of the Israelites crossing the Jordan River. God promised them the land, but they had to take the first step into the water before it parted. Their action demonstrated their faith. In the same way, your consistent actions signal your trust in the process. Even when you don't see immediate results, stay the course. Faith is about trusting in what you cannot yet see. Each step you take in alignment with your belief is a step closer to manifesting your desires. Remember, faith without works is dead. Your actions breathe life into your belief. Avoiding contradictions, it's important to ensure that your actions don't contradict your faith. For example, if you're praying for financial abundance but overspend recklessly, you're acting out of alignment. If you're seeking love but hold on to bitterness or resentment, you're creating a disconnect. Faith calls for integrity between what you believe and how you behave. Take time to reflect on your daily actions. Are they in harmony with your desires, or are they rooted in fear and doubt? If you find contradictions, don't be discouraged. Simply adjust your course and realign. Awareness is the first step to change. Inspiration weaves. Desperation-aligned action comes from a place of inspiration, not desperation. Desperation is driven by fear and anxiety, while inspiration is fueled by faith and purpose. When you act out of inspiration, your actions flow naturally and effortlessly. You feel guided as though the path is unfolding before you. To act from inspiration, spend time in prayer, meditation, or reflection. Seek guidance from within and listen for the quiet whispers of intuition. These moments of clarity will show you the next steps to take. Trust that each step, no matter how small, is part of a larger divine plan. The ripple effect: when you align your actions with faith, you not only transform your own life, but also inspire those around you. People will notice your confidence, your determination, and your unwavering belief. Your actions become a living testimony of faith in motion. They show others what is possible when you trust in God's promises and take inspired steps toward your dreams. This ripple effect extends beyond you. It creates a positive energy that influences your relationships, your environment, and even the opportunities that come your way. Aligned action attracts aligned outcomes. 7. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the fullness of life. It transforms what we have into enough, what we are into abundance, and what we experience into joy. Yet how often do we truly pause to appreciate the blessings that surround us? In a world obsessed with what's next, gratitude is a powerful antidote, a way to ground ourselves in the richness of the present moment, while creating a magnetic energy that attracts even more blessings into our lives. Think about it. When was the last time you felt deeply grateful? Not just a fleeting moment of saying thank you out of politeness, but a soul-deep recognition of how blessed you are, even amidst challenges. Gratitude has the power to shift your perspective. It takes your focus off what you lack and places it on what you already have. It reminds you that, no matter how difficult life may seem, there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude is not about denying your struggles. It doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect or ignoring the hardships you face. Rather, it is about choosing to see the good even in the midst of the bad. It's about finding light in the darkness, hope in despair, and meaning in the mundane. Gratitude is a practice, a deliberate act of focusing your mind and heart on the blessings that exist in every situation. Consider this: the more you practice gratitude, the more blessings you begin to notice. This isn't because life suddenly becomes easier, but because your perspective changes. You start to see beauty in the little things. The warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of a child's laughter, the simple joy of a shared meal. These moments, often overlooked, become sources of immense joy when approached with gratitude. But gratitude is not just about what you notice, it's also about what you attract. When you live in a state of thankfulness, you align yourself with abundance. You create an energy that draws more blessings into your life. This is not some mystical concept. It is a profound truth rooted in the way our minds and hearts work. When you focus on what you're thankful for, you cultivate a sense of contentment and peace. This energy radiates outward, influencing your actions, relationships, and even opportunities. How can you begin to practice gratitude in your daily life? Start by taking a few moments each day to reflect on what you are thankful for. Write it down in a journal or simply speak it aloud. Be specific. Instead of saying, "I'm thankful for my family," say, "I'm thankful for the way my family supports me, the laughter we share, and the love that binds us." The more detailed you are, the more powerful your gratitude becomes. Another way to practice gratitude is to express it to others. Tell the people in your life how much they mean to you. A heartfelt thank you can strengthen relationships, heal wounds, and bring you closer to those you love. Gratitude is a bridge. It connects you to others, to yourself, and to your Creator. Gratitude also requires mindfulness. It's about being present in the moment, noticing the blessings that are already here. When you rush through life, focused on what you don't have or what's missing, you overlook the treasures that are right in front of you. But when you slow down and pay attention, you realize that you are surrounded by abundance. Sometimes life's greatest blessings come disguised as challenges. It may be hard to feel grateful when you're facing difficulties, but this is when gratitude is most transformative. Think of a time when a struggle led to growth, a loss opened the door to something better, or a failure taught you an invaluable lesson. Gratitude allows you to see these moments not as setbacks but as stepping stones. Ask yourself, what blessings am I overlooking in my life right now? What lessons have my challenges taught me? And how can I bring more gratitude into my daily routine? The answers to these questions have the power to change your life. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a way of being, a way of approaching life with open eyes and an open heart. When you practice gratitude consistently, you begin to see that life is not happening to you, it is happening for you. Every moment, every experience, every interaction is a gift. And when you live in gratitude, you unwrap these gifts with joy, knowing that each one is part of the abundant life you are meant to live. So today, take a moment to practice gratitude. Look around you. Notice the beauty, the blessings, the opportunities, and the lessons. Speak your thanks aloud or whisper it in your heart, and watch as gratitude transforms your life, one moment at a time. As we journey through life, the principles of the law of detachment remind us of a profound truth. The more we let go, the more we align ourselves with the flow of the universe. Releasing the need for control, anchor ourselves in the present, cultivating inner fulfillment, trusting divine timing, embracing uncertainty, detaching from outcomes, and practicing gratitude are not just strategies, they are pathways to freedom, peace, and abundance. Life is not a battle to be won, but a rhythm to be danced to. When you trust the process and let things come to you, you free yourself from the chains of desperation and open your heart to infinite possibilities. Each step you take, rooted in trust and faith, draws you closer to the life you were meant to live, a life of joy, fulfillment, and purpose. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. The Creator, in His infinite wisdom, has already orchestrated the perfect plan for your life. Your role is not to force or fight, but to trust, align, and flow. The seeds you plant today will grow in their time. The doors that are meant for you will open, and the blessings that are yours will find their way to you effortlessly and abundantly. So, as you move forward, take a deep breath and release the weight of control. Embrace the beauty of the present moment. Trust that everything is unfolding as it should. And know that when you let go, you are not losing anything, you are gaining the freedom to receive everything. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery and transformation. I hope these words resonate with your heart and inspire you to step into the freedom that comes with detachment. Remember, your life is a masterpiece in progress, and the Creator is painting a picture more beautiful than you can imagine. Trust the process, let go, and let life flow. If this message has touched you, share it with someone who needs encouragement today. Let's continue to grow together, one step at a time. Stay blessed, stay inspired, and remember, what is meant for you will never miss you. Until next time, take care and live with faith and gratitude.